Hey, what's up everybody? This is Coach Matt from Nerd Fitness, and today I'm going to take you through the basics of learning how to jump rope. Now, the first thing we're going to do is find your jump rope. You'll see a bunch of different kinds online. This is one that's almost like more of a gummy, rubbery one. There's a wire in there, but it's kind of in a protective coating. I like these probably best for starting out. You'll also see the ones with beads, or you'll see a speed rope that's just a wire without the protective coating over it. The speed rope, a lot of people love them because they're wire. You can get the rope moving really fast, especially if you're trying to get to double unders, which is 2 passes of the rope around on a single jump. But when a wire is moving very fast without any protection, and then it slams into your shin or something, or your toes when you miss a jump, also feels a lot worse. So that's why I like starting off with something like this, and then down the line, if you find you love jump roping, speed ropes can be an awesome tool. So we're gonna get that. We wanna make sure it's adjustable. You'll see in mine that there's a little clip that I can move up and down to adjust the length. And the goal with adjusting is that when we stand on it with one foot and then even out the handles, we want those handles to basically come up to the very tip top of your armpit. So that's a good judge for how much length you're gonna need. If it's a little bit higher or shorter than that, you can usually fudge it a little bit, but it's gonna require more technique and a little bit more workaround. So that's your starting position. Then we're gonna break the jump down into 3 different parts. First, the jump, second, the arm swing, and then 3, the timer. So for the jump, what I like to do, get your feet almost all the way together, maybe hip width apart. I actually like smashing them together if I can. And then I want to practice hopping in one spot. So if you draw like an X on the floor and hop up and down, you're going to see how far off of that spot you move. And the biggest common faults with the jump are, 1, not keeping enough tension. You want a little bit of a stiff leg, a little bit of tension in your glutes and your core. If you're too loose, you're going to see there's a lot of movement here. And as soon as I tighten up, it's like I tightened the string on a guitar. The frequency, the sound got higher and faster, right? So as soon as I just keep a little bit of tension here, I'm light on my toes, my legs are pretty stiff and straight. I'm not getting a lot of knee bounce or anything like that. It's really more of a hop on your feet than it is like a full jump. So that's something to be aware of. Once people start swinging, another thing we'll start to see is I call it like the donkey kick or the Anchorman freeze frame, like, yay, we're getting new suits. So you'll start to see people being worried about their feet, and they'll start kicking their feet back, which takes away from their ability to maintain that even tempo. And as soon as you start kicking your feet back, it's going to start messing with your timing and your rhythm. So it's something else to be aware of. It's okay in the beginning when you're learning, you're going to have it happen, but it can mess with timing and rhythm long term. So we want to try to learn to get into that nice gentle hop just off the balls of the foot. So that's the first part. Second part is the arm swing. And the biggest thing here is what you're going to find is we want those hands extended out to the sides. And just like we're jumping basically from our ankles and our toes, here we're swinging from our wrists. So we're keeping the movement really narrow. It's not a lot of elbow. If we start getting the elbow in there, the height of the rope is going to change, and it's the same thing as those jumps. It's going to make each of your jumps become less predictable of where the rope is going to be, and so it's going to start messing with your rhythm and timing. So we're going to keep arms basically extended out to the sides, about hip height, so it's splitting you in half, and then there's going to be a lot of wrist movement. In the beginning, I'll even practice this with one hand. So I stand to the side and start getting a rhythm. You can do this to a metronome. Again, trying to keep that elbow pretty stiff. Very minimal movement. You can still see there's a little bit of movement up and down, but it's not big elbow movements, big elbow swings as you go through it. So I can practice that on each side, and then it's time, once I get kind of a rhythm down, to start working on the timing. That's where we're going to put everything together. So what I recommend for people in the beginning is that we start with a very slow, methodical rhythm with the hands, and then take a little practice hop in between your jump rope jumps. It just seems like people kind of naturally, instinctively want to do this anyway. So rather than kind of fight against that, especially when you're learning, I think just kind of lean into that, get really comfortable with that, and what that's going to look like. Hopefully I don't hit the ceiling. It's something like that. That's how most people are going to want to start. Now that one it's gonna be harder to keep your arms as stiff in the beginning because of that, and you might find you're making some more errors in the beginning, but it's okay. You're just trying to get a rhythm of where that rope coming around and just putting the pieces together. Then, once you start getting more comfortable, you're gonna find you keep that tension. There's not a lot of elbow movement. It's all in the wrist. And notice that I'm really not jumping that high. As soon as I try to get too high with it, again, there's gonna be like more elbow swing. I can do it, but I gotta match the rhythm of my jump to the rhythm of my movement. So, of my swing, my wrist swing. So hopefully that makes sense. You're gonna practice the jumping first, then the arm swing. Then we're gonna start putting those together. And if you feel more comfortable, just kind of get in a rhythm like that, where you're doing every other to start, totally fine. And then eventually it's time to kind of bite the bullet and go in and just work on the rhythm and timing. One of the best things about doing a jump rope is that the jump rope is your coach. If your rhythm and timing gets off, it's gonna smack your shin, you're gonna miss your jump. And that's just giving you immediate feedback, like a coach would, that hey, the rhythm and timing's off, let's just pay a little bit more attention to it and keep getting in there and getting it. So those are the basics of jump rope. You have your jump, your swing. Remember, we want to keep a little bit of tension in. Try to not have a big movement in the elbow. Keep most of it in the wrist. And then you're going to match the rhythm and timing of your swing to your jump. If you want to level this up and take it to double unders, it's almost the exact same progressions. For a double under, what we're going to practice is what we call a super jump. So if I'm bouncing here, I want to still stay pretty stiff, but now I'm going to try to really get a bigger push off the ground. So I get almost twice as high. It's going to give me more time to get the rope around. Same thing when you're practicing that arm swing. If I'm doing a normal swing, 1, 2, 3, now I need to go double. So I need to practice accelerating that into a double swing, just twice as fast, just like I did with my single jump rope. And then I'll have people do the exact same thing when they're actually on the rope. We'll start off with our normal. This is kind of like becoming that in-between hop. And then when we go into the double under, I'm going to do one super jump and accelerate my rope swing twice, so I can get under twice. Then, as you get practicing, you can start pairing more of them together. So I'm going to do 2 super jumps in a row, and then return to my normal 3, and then eventually get to a point where you're just kind of going for it. Okay, hopefully that all helps. Give you guys the confidence to start. Remember, jump rope is an awesome tool. It's something that teaches you how to do it as you go through the process. Make sure you're wearing shoes so you don't clunk your toes. Find a rope that fits you the right size and keep those couple of points in mind, and you're going to do great.